This episode of Just Winging It is called
Rumor Mill.
Juicy Drama.
Oh boy. Yeah, you guys were waiting for this one, I know. They say I shouldn't dispel rumors about myself because it'll make it worse, but we're going to dispel rumors today. Because I don't care, and I know that these rumors aren't true, and you and I both know they're not true.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I don't mind talking about it. There was a lot of rumors about me circulating on social media for a very long time, especially when I worked at Frontier. So we're going to go back to my days at my former airline, and we're going to talk about it today, Hannah.
Yep. This is before I knew her.
Okay, so rumor number 1. This is that I got fired from Frontier. And everybody still to this day, for whatever reason, believes that I got fired from Frontier, which is not true.
So it's a myth.
It is a myth. We are going to bust the myth here. I resigned from Frontier. I guess I don't know how that rumor started, honestly. I don't know. I think people just assumed that because I was reported so many times to the company, which I was for my videos, because people hated me for other reasons. I think they were jealous or had like ulterior motives. I'm not sure, but there were a lot of snitches at Frontier, and there were people that were actively trying to get me fired. And I believe that's where the rumors started. I actually was called into a meeting with Frontier to discuss my videos, but it wasn't in a bad way. I actually did a social media partnership with my airline. They actually paid me in flight vouchers to make videos for their social media and make content for them. So they were well aware of my social media, and I never posted anything bad per se about the airline, which I still don't to this day. I don't come out and say, I mean, it's pretty obvious who I work for, but I don't actually come out and say it. I don't represent any specific airline. I did not represent Frontier, but I just made content for them. I had like a little partnership with them, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. How did you resign?
I actually did write out and print out a nice 2-week notice, and I sent it into the base manager. It basically said, this is my 2 weeks notice. I received a CJO with another airline. And I'm going to training with that airline. I am no longer allowed to work for Frontier because there is a non-compete. So, which is very true. And yeah, basically I just turned my stuff in. I scheduled a time with my base manager to go in and return my stuff. And that was it. It really was very low drama. There was not anything crazy. And because I had resigned, and I was not terminated, I was able to get like my sick payout, my vacation payout, and all of that. So honestly, I think that rumor just got started because of jealousy. What do you think?
I would say so. I would say so.
We're just mad that they weren't the ones to go into my new airline, because the airline I currently work for we have very good flexibility, very good pay, very beautiful new contract. And at Frontier, I heard things are a mess, to be totally honest, and people there are not happy, and which is terrible. Like there needs to be like contract protections in place for what those flight attendants are now being put through, because they basically switched their business model overnight and left all these commuters screwed. So all these people who are commuters now have to move to a base or pay for night after night of a crash pad or a hotel, which gets really expensive. And so they took a strike vote as they should, because they need to. There needs to be some change. So I'm very happy I'm not there anymore. But I did not get miserable. Fired. I would be. Yeah, I'm much happier here. Much happier here now at my current airline. And I did not get fired from my old airline.
Yeah.
Rumor number 2.
Is it true that you own your own house?
Yes, it is true. But that's not really a rumor. That's just like, that's fact. Yes, I bought my own house. I had a little bit of help, but I did it myself. My parents didn't buy it for me. I did have some like help from people, coming together and helping me move, but I didn't really have any financial assistance in the matter. This is all my own savings, my own retro that I got in my bonus on the new contract. I was basically able to purchase a house on my own. So those of you who say that I had help or I don't really own my house, like 100% of it, that's false. Like I do 100% own this place, and I'm very, very proud of that accomplishment. Yeah. Another big rumor, as I'm sure you guys have seen the video circulating, that video is real. it was just taken severely out of context. And this video was a fight that I had with my ex, and he videotaped me and he posted it all over. He sent it to his friends, I guess, and they posted it to make me look bad. And that started a rumor that I abused him, which is also not true. I actually, like, I will cry if I see a spider and have to squash it. Like, I just don't hurt people like that. Everybody was saying for a while that I was physically abusive, and somebody actually did try to get me fired or kicked out of training at my current airline while I was still in training. It was the last week of training, and they tried to get me kicked out by using this video and fabricated messages. It got really, really bad for a while. So there's this Facebook group. It is now called the F Galley. It was called something else before. I'm not in that group because it's just full of drama, but that's where this rumor originated. And it took a big emotional toll on me. I'm not going to lie. It was bad for a while. My mental health was ruined for a while. I felt terrible about myself. I started to even believe some of these rumors myself because everybody was telling me that I abused him, and that was the reason I left him. But it's just simply not true.
Tell me more about that video that was surfaced on the internet.
So we had a fight. I forget what it was about, honestly. But if y'all remember from that relationship, the truth is I was just very, very burnt out. I had reached my breaking point. I'm going to be the first to admit it. I admit when I'm wrong. I lost it. And that video is actually reactive. It's called reactive abuse when they call it in like narcissism. I don't believe my ex was a narcissist. I believe he was just emotionally immature. But that was me reaching my breaking point. If you've seen the video, that's what that was. It was just taken out of context. I was not yelling at him or abusing him in any way. That was just me reaching my breaking point because I was so exhausted of having to pay all the bills and not having any assistance, and I was in debt because of it. And I was stressed. I was on an emotional all-time high. It was awful. My mental health was in a pit. That was me at my lowest. And the fact that he went and recorded me at my lowest, at my breaking point like that,
it showed true character.
That really showed his true colors. And at that point, that's when things really started going downhill. I'm not going to say when that video was taken, but it was closer to the end. This is a little difficult for me to talk about, so I'm sorry, but yeah.
What makes you now like have peace with the situation, and like how are you now mentally?
I'm doing much better mentally now. I mean, the video is still out there and people are still talking about it. If you go through my comments, anytime I make a video about like my dating life or like anything related to what I went through, there's always still people in my comments like saying, oh, but like, look, she like abused him, or have you seen this video? Like, I'll send it to you. But it's public. If you search my name on social media, you will see that video come up, like one of the first 2 videos. So if you haven't seen it, like, it's not even hard to find. And that's what's devastating. I've reported it so many times. I've tried to have it taken down and I just can't get rid of it. It just follows me around. And unfortunately, there's people that seek out drama and they take it out of context. But I wanted to sort of talk about what actually went on that day. Like, it was not me abusing him. If anything, it was mental abuse on his part, because it was reactive and I had completely reached my breaking point. So it takes a lot to get me there, honestly. Yeah. He was very good at manipulating me and getting me to that point. Yeah. And for him to record that was a very low thing to do, but that is why I am no longer with him.
Yeah. Now
I'm doing much better now.
Now you're doing a lot better now, physically, mentally, emotionally, Right.
And I actually am with somebody now who treats me like a princess and actually like cares about me. Yeah. Which is amazing. So I'm doing much better now.
Yeah. How did you feel about those messages and like how that would affect your reputation, especially getting a brand new job?
Yeah, so it was a little bit crazy. I was terrified. So I actually got called into a meeting and I had no idea what it was about. This was my last week of training. And I had already seen the video, but I didn't think somebody would stoop to as low of a level as what I was about to hear that they did. So what they showed me was a TikTok video, and somebody had compiled screenshots of fabricated messages. And I knew they were fabricated because some of these texts that I saw that they showed me that I read for the first time, it was my first time ever seeing these. They were some of the most vile, twisted, borderline criminal things I've ever seen. And obviously I would never say anything like that to anybody.
Yeah.
I was appalled. I was so taken aback. I didn't even know what to say. I was speechless. I just started bawling. I'm like, I didn't text these. I didn't write these. Like, this is not me. This is somebody posing as me. And I was a wreck. I was a complete mess. I cried for like a good 15 minutes before I was able to talk to them. And so what I believe happened is maybe one or two people decided to create a fake Facebook profile of me using my profile picture at the time and my name exactly as it appears on my personal Facebook. And they sent these messages to somebody else to try to frame me as abusing my fiance at the time. And it's honestly disgusting that somebody took time out of their day to do that. That is absolutely insane to me, that people are crazy enough to do that. I believe it might have been somebody at my current airline who doesn't want me here for whatever reason. Well, I hate to break it to you because I'm here. They showed me then this compilation in this TikTok video. And at the very end of the video, it also included the video of my breaking point. And at the very end of this video, it was a broken heart. And it said, name of my airline, do you really want somebody like this working for you? And my heart stopped. I'm like, are you serious right now? Like,
Yeah.
I was literally heartbroken.
Yeah.
I could not stop crying. It was so bad. I thought this was the end. This is the end of my airline career because somebody just doesn't want me there. And they told me they would get back to me in 48 hours because I was due to graduate training that Friday. And it was, I believe, a Tuesday. So those next few days of training were really hard. And for those of you that might not know, I was pregnant in training. I was 4 weeks at the start when I found out. And by the end, I was like 8 weeks. And so, first trimester hormones were, out of control. And so I was already at an emotional high to begin with. And this on top of it, having to deal with that, I was so stressed. And I believe that's probably what contributed. It might have contributed a little bit to my miscarriage. But we won't get into that. So 2 days later, they call me back into the meeting room. And I knew from seeing other people get sent home for various reasons that if they made you bring your stuff with you, it meant you were getting sent home. If they let you keep your stuff in the room with everybody else, it meant you were able to stay. They let me keep my stuff in the room with everybody else. And so I kind of breathed a sigh of relief initially. And they took me into the huddle room and they said we couldn't find evidence for or against the case. Basically, we could not determine if you were actually the one who sent these messages or if it was fabricated. So we are going to let you graduate. So not really ideally the outcome I wanted. Like, I wanted them to believe that it wasn't me that sent them because that's the truth. But I'll take it because I was allowed to graduate. So
Yeah.
I'm here now and I haven't had anything else, like, especially since the breakup, I really haven't had anybody else try to like blow things out of proportion to that extreme extent. Luckily. But that's also kind of the reason I wanted to do this episode is because
To clear the air.
to clear the air on these things, because really I'm not a monster. I'm not the monster that some people seem to think that I am.
Yeah.
I mean, Hannah knows that.
I'm not a monster. She's not a monster. I'm not a monster.
No, I was actually you can vouch for me. Like, I was very, very sweet to him and I loved him and I cared about him genuinely. And I honestly hope he's doing well. I don't know what he's doing with his life right now, and I don't really care, but I really hope that he's happy because I don't wish anything that happens to me on anybody. So I really hope that he gets the help he needs. And I sure as heck am doing really well in my life right now. And I couldn't be happier. So believe what you want, but this is a little bit of a hard episode for me to record, but we got through it.
Yep,
we did it.
We did. We got through it. We're good. And everything is sunshine and rainbows now.
Sunshine. Well, life isn't really all sunshine and rainbows, but it's a little bit more sunshine and rainbows than what it was before.
Yes.